Hey, you teach him everything he knows about singing, I assume?
God, I'm sorry y'all had to see that. I don't know how y'all going to continue the rest of the show after witnessing that. I apologize.
Well, I know you're excited today for a number of reasons, and one of them is the Broncos being back in the playoffs after an 8-year absence. Their last postseason game was Super Bowl 50, led by a great defense, Von Miller and company, and a quarterback named Peyton Manning. The Broncos win the championship that day and have not been back in the postseason since. So, Peyton, let's talk about this game today and their rookie quarterback, Bo Nix. If he were to call you, and for all I know he may have, looking for advice on his first postseason start, what would you tell him?
Well, I think Bo's going to handle this playoff game just fine. He started 60 games in college. He started every game this season. He's just been around. He doesn't get nervous. He loves to play. He loves to compete. But my advice to him would have been to go out there and play free. The pressure is on the Buffalo Bills, right? Nobody's kind of giving the 7th seed a chance to go out there and cut it loose, keep the game close in the fourth quarter. If the game's close, now Buffalo is really going to be squeezed, and that's where the Broncos might have a chance to win this game. But that's kind of how he's played all season, Greeny. He doesn't press. He smiles out there. He's laughing a lot. He's having fun, and I think he'll do that today against Buffalo.
He's had a remarkable rookie season, whatever it is that happens today. I want to ask you about the game in Philadelphia today. It's an interesting one, and our guys have been talking all morning long about how the most important priority for Green Bay has to be not allowing Saquon Barkley to take over the game. So in a world in which this game winds up being on Jalen Hurts' shoulders, and we've been told that he's been cleared to do everything, if this game becomes about Jalen Hurts having to throw the Eagles to a win, are you confident he can do that today?
I'm very confident he can do that, Greeny, because, look, let's remember, Jalen Hurts is one pass interference call away from being a Super Bowl champion and defeating the best quarterback in the NFL, Patrick Mahomes. So he can do it. He won championships in college. He's made for this moment. But I will say, I want to see Saquon Barkley touch the ball a ton, because when you rested him last week and kept him from breaking Eric Dickerson's record, there better be a reason for it. Put him at quarterback if you have to, like the Ravens did last night with Derrick Henry. Like Fred was saying, run that zone read, but find a way for the defense to take Jalen and get Saquon the ball. Otherwise, you should have let him play last week. Anyway, I'm over last week. I'm over it. I promise you.
Peyton, I'm with you. Peyton, I'm with you. I felt the same way. So in terms of like getting their perfect situation, Sirianni's pushing buttons. He's got the perfect situation. They're resting. Now, how much pressure they got? Because how much are we going to be on them if they lose this game? Because you got nothing now. You don't have the rushing title. You don't have a playoff win. How much pressure is on the Philadelphia Eagles to at least start fast?
There's a lot of pressure, because that's why you did it, to rest guys, to work on some things, to sort of address any mistakes that you made throughout the season. Let's get all those fixed, and let's go out and play clean football. I think Green Bay is kind of in that same situation as Denver. There's no pressure on Green Bay. They can go in there and shock the world. So I see Philly playing well. I think the fact that Jalen is healthy, that's a good thing. I see Jalen and Saquon kind of doing what Lamar and Derek did last night.
Tomorrow night in Arizona, we will see Sam Darnold making the playoff start for the Vikings against the Rams. He's obviously had an extraordinary season, a little bit of a step back in a tough game last week against Detroit. What are you expecting from Darnold tomorrow night?
I think last week's game, Greeny, was almost like a playoff game that Minnesota did not play well, and they kind of get a second chance, which, as we all know, you don't get a second chance in the playoffs. It's a 7th game elimination game, unlike baseball or basketball. So I think that can work to the Vikings' advantage. Sam's got to get rid of the ball. He can't hold it. He's got to be patient. The Rams are going to try to take Jefferson away, take the deep balls away, use Addison, use Hawkinson, take the check downs, don't force the ball downfield, but don't take those sacks. Get rid of the ball early, keep the game close in the fourth quarter. I think it's going to be a close game. I'm hoping it's a close game. Obviously, I'm biased because I don't want to have to deal with Eli's bad jokes in the fourth quarter if we don't have a good game. But I see Sam playing well in this game, coming off a tough week last week.
Final Manning cast of the season again is tomorrow night. One more for you, Peyton. We know you have a busy day. We so appreciate you doing this. But no one knows what great quarterback play looks like better than you do. We have a prospect that we've had our eye on that we would like to get your perspective on. So let's just show you a little bit of this.
Okay.
I just got to get my big arm warmed up. Look at the boys in the pocket. I can throw the heck out of it. Yeah. Oh. Still looking. Marino.
All
Look
right.
at Marino.
So here's what I'm seeing. I'm seeing a guy who's patting the ball a lot, right? He's holding it with one hand. It's everything that Rex Ryan would love as a D coordinator and the opposing quarterback. This guy holds it with one hand. We can get fumbles. You know, most quarterbacks, Teddy, throw the ball underthrown on purpose, not Rex. That's as far as he can throw it. So I guess if there's one compliment, you have a better arm than Sal Pal. Rex, I don't know if that means anything to you, but better throw than Sal Pal just did there in Philly.
Yeah, I think I did a better job of knocking quarterbacks down than I would be throwing it for sure.
Peyton, we know you have a busy day with family stuff today. We so appreciate you making some time for us.
Thanks, Peyton.
We'll be watching tomorrow night. Thanks, Peyton.
All right, guys, Happy New Year.
The star.
Attaboy, Big Ed.
When we say
Awesome,
that,
Sal.
There's Sal is the best. There's so many things I want to dive into, but it jumped out at me when Shefty said it. Right at the beginning of the show, we've had so many conversations about whether or not the Eagles playbook would be limited today because Jalen Hurts is coming off the concussion. Would they limit the QB run and all of that? Shefty definitively said, and Sal just said it as well, everything is available to them today offensively.
That's exactly what I have my eyes on. Listen, he said it, Shefty, no limitations. Saquon has had an unbelievable year. This is one of the best offenses in football. The reason it is, though, is because of the quarterback, Jalen Hurts. All of this run game goes through him. He makes a decision on almost every single play, and that's what makes it so hard to defend. And this is exactly the play he got hurt on, right? And I know Sal said he looked great in practice. But listen, it's hard for me not to think that if I'm the Packers, I would much rather have this guy running it than Saquon. And in the words of our colleague, Louis Riddick, I'm touching him a lot, as often as possible, right? Like, again, see if he can handle a hit. Listen, this is the tush push. This is he plays a physical game.
The number one short yardage weapon in the league in terms of the tush push. I mean, if you have delay in that, it's no longer 1st and 9, as Sirianni always says. And I'm looking to see how they start. Really, I mean, this is their perfect situation. Jalen was cleared of concussion protocol. They all got the rest that they wanted. They didn't go for the rushing record for this opportunity to win 4 straight. So how are they going to look coming out, Fred, is what I'm looking for.
You have to look at it. And they, like you just mentioned, you said Saquon, there's something bigger that we're chasing. You can't get that rushing record. This is the time, put up or shut up. They got to go get it now. They got to start fast.
If you're a defender in this game and you know that Jalen Hurts is coming back, again, I mean, football I'm not talking about anything dirty or malicious, but that was the term that Louis Riddick used was you're going to touch him. You're going to make sure he feels it. What is the mentality you take into this game if you're a defender knowing the situation with Hurts?
If he has the ball in his hands, he's got to get hit. That's just what it is. I know he's coming off the concussion, like you mentioned, nothing dirty, nothing out of in those sorts, but he's got to get hit. And, you know, I don't want Saquon touching. I don't want him having the ball 40 times in this game. If there's going to be a zone read option in this game, you have to take away the dive. You have to make Jalen pull it and see what he's about.
And I would say also defensively, when Jalen feels safest is when the running game gets going, and I've got Dallas Goedert healthy. He's healthy now. He actually played a little bit last week to get back from that knee injury. So Dallas Goedert and how he is at the tight end position, I think early on. Let's see how that is too.
Yeah, I think it's funny because you guys are looking at how they start. This team always starts slow, always. And that's if Green Bay's going to win this game, they got to jump on that fact. All right, this is one of the slowest starting teams in the National Football League. The Green Bay, you better jump on them while you can, get an early lead, and let's see what happens. When you do that, I think the key is going to be that quarterback, but flushing him out of the pocket. Jalen Hurts